You probably heard some wild stories about Phoenix Comicon 2017. You had to be there, but if you weren't, don't worry about it. I'll take you on a little tour. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome back to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And sometimes we go out and exhibit at Comic-Cons. And we just did Phoenix Comicon. I did a little wrap-up before to tell you all about the crazy, wacky stuff that happened at that one. But there was some other cool stuff that happened. I want to give you a little tour, and I want to introduce you to some people who are doing some really cool stuff, some original stuff. A lot of what you do when you go to Phoenix Comicon or any Comic-Con in general, there's a lot of fan art, a lot of cool fan art, but very few people doing their own original stuff. So I thought it'd be cool if we met some of these people who are kind of bucking that trend and doing some original stuff. So I'm going to show you that. Introduce you to some friends of mine. So we're going to do that. We're going to go right up here to the paralleloscope and check that out. Okay, so here's my table set up. I got the prints on the back wall, my 3D prints, some of my original robot prints, buttons, some of my smaller prints. I've got my messenger bags, my bow ties, my sort of blind box test tubes, lab experiment. And here's my daughter, and she made slime, and she did real well. She sold out on it, so I'm thinking maybe I'm in the wrong business. Because, like I said, she did real well with just the slime that she made. And I helped her with the packaging and everything, but that sold really well. Of course, I got postcards and everything, but hey, let's take a look around the actual convention. We tour the floor. I want to stop here and there just to kind of check out some displays and some booths that I think are pretty cool. This guy's got a really nice setup. I like that one. And this is Justin Orr, I think. He does really nice fan art. I really dig his stuff. It's kind of got an old like screen print look to it. Very cool. And this guy, Hairbrain, I don't know if you heard of him, he does t-shirts, but then he stumbled upon this idea and it's like he hit pay dirt with this thing. And oh yeah, and this guy, he's on the YouTube. Will Terry, or is it Terrell? Sometimes I get those guys confused. This is another guy who has a really cool setup. I like his artwork, I like how he displays everything. Very cool. And of course, Steam Crow and Monster Scouts, and we'll interview Daniel, who's the co-owner of Steam Crow, and he'll talk a little bit about what he does. But I just wanted you to check this out because, I mean, if you've never seen what he does, what they do, him and his wife together own the company, and they've developed all this stuff, and it's just super cool. Lots of cool products, and it's all original stuff. And there's Donna, his wife. And like I said, we'll talk to Daniel in a minute. He's over there at the end, and we're going to interview with him. But again, man, what an amazing booth. What an amazing company that these guys have put together. This is Travis Hansen's booth. He creates Bean, the comic, as well as a bunch of other stuff. And he sits there all day and does free sketches, which is totally cool. And this guy's got a kind of unique business model. It's like muscle shirts and like fitness stuff for geeks, comic oriented. So I thought that was kind of cool. I'm here with local comic book extraordinaire, Daniel Rosselli, creator of Cousin Harold and Space Monsters. Where's Space Monsters? Space Monsters. How you doing, Denny?
Pretty good. How you doing, Scott?
Pretty good. So what do you do, man? Let everyone know who doesn't know who you are, that you're a legend, and what do you do?
I'm a legend. My name is Denny. I go by the pen name Denman, and I create a ton of comics, non-stop.
I have a ton of his comics.
Yeah. I love to write, draw. I also love to staple, fold, and create my comics from beginning to end by hand. Awesome. My two biggest series are Cousin Harold and Space Monsters.
And he's got the toys, he's got the comics, everything.
So you can find my information at Denman, DENNMANN.com, and then that'll give you links to the Cousin Harold, the Space Monsters, and everything that I kind of do.
Awesome. Thanks, Danny. Here with Eric Griego. He is the creator of Ocho, which is Arizona's longest running mini comic. Let everyone know what you do, Eric.
I write and draw this comic called Ocho, and I write it. When I say write it, that's kind of loosely. When I draw it, that's kind of loose too. I just kind of make it up as I go, and I use old school, homemade, handcrafted letter tone, which I call Ocho tone, and just make my own little comics, and I photocopy them, and I staple and fold them just like this.
And you've been doing this how long? And you've got how many issues?
I have close to 40 issues, and I have 22 years.
Awesome.
So 20 years, half my life. I'm 44, and I've been doing it for 22 years.
And that's what makes you a local comic book legend, man.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know about legends, but I definitely just
You can't make that claim, but I can make that claim.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it.
All right. All right, Eric, thanks.
Thank you.
Jess Hurley, he is the creator of Angel Wolf, and he is one of the few people that actually comes to comic book conventions and sells his own original comic books. So, what's Angel Wolf about, man? What are you doing?
Basically, the book kind of assumes that vampires and werewolves have always existed, and what's happening is werewolves are starting to die off from the sickness they get. So, they decide we're going to go out, we're going to attack as many people as we can to try to make more werewolves. The only problem is because they're sick, everybody they attack winds up dying. So God decided he's going to spare 7 of those dying people and turn them into a werewolves themselves, but they're angelic werewolves. And so now they're in charge of defending the earth from being taken over by vampires. You've also got an element of zombies in there and some giant black lions and angels and crazy stuff like that. Right now I have 6 issues out, so it's just a really fun series.
Awesome, man. Well, keep doing what you're doing, because anytime I can see original comic books at a comic book convention, I'm all for that. So, all right, thanks, Jess.
Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, so I'm here with Dead Gonzo, who is the author, illustrator of Romano El Destino, and my Spanish is horrible, so the accent's probably not great. But it's an awesome book. Here it is here, and I just love the covers. But what's the book about, yeah?
It's a story of a once champion luchador who is betrayed by his friends and unmasked in the ring, and so he can never be that luchador again. So he makes a bargain with the mysterious promoter to get a new identity to try to get his revenge. And like all good Faustian bargains, he finds out there's strings attached. So he's trying to exact his revenge, free himself from the bargain, but also remain the person he knows himself to be. And it all happens in this like swanky jet age Mexico that doesn't really exist. It's this. It's a Mexico where lucha libre is like the most important sport in that world. I always say it's lucha libre in his world is as important as auto racing and speed racers' world. Like it's the only sport that happens. So yeah, and it all looks, feels, and kind of smells like an old comic book. Like I want to feel like a relic from a time that didn't exist.
Yeah, it really, man. I love just the color schemes you use and everything. What are some of your inspirations? Because
well, geez, like I love old El Santo comics and old El Santo movies. The wackiness of kind of like, if you watch the old color like El Santo movies, just the color saturation was so. It was like old, like I'm trying to think of the color process that used to exist in the '60s, but like deluxe maybe. Anyway, yeah, exactly. One of those color processes, but also because it was like a Latino, like a Mexican-made films, they had like the brightness of so vibrant, and so to me, like luchadors live in this vibrant world of like Latino color palette, and I just wanted that to be reflected within my comic book.
It's really original. It's really just an amazing piece of work. So thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, dude.
Okay, I will. I'm here with Daniel Davis. He is the co-creator, along with his wife Donna, of Steam Pro and Monster Scout. So I know who you are, and I know all the cool stuff you do. We've been friends for a while, but tell everyone else what you do.
So I'm an illustrator. I love monsters and vintage design, and for a long time I struggled with what that was about. Like I made these things, but it was hard to for people to talk about it. Like, what is that? And so I did that under Steam Crow. But a few years ago, I stumbled on this idea of making badges and rewarding our best customers with badges to reward them for being good patrons or activists or helpers.
Some of the badges right here.
But then what happened was better. They started dressing up as scouts.
So awesome.
And then that grew, and more people dressed up as scouts. And so I had to make scout branches, and I had to make bandanas, more patches, and then the next stage was they wanted to do campouts, which was nuts. So now we host campouts for them too, where we do interesting, weird things like we do secret ceremonies, we break bread with each other, we play games, and we actually have a community. So yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Like I didn't know this is what I'd be doing at all. But our fans, our people told us this is what it's about. And so yeah, so that's what we're about now is Monster Scouts.
It's so cool, and it's just amazing for me as a bystander, kind of watch your company grow and become what it is, and I'm so excited every time I see anything new from you guys, and constantly every time there's like not one or two new things, but several. So
yeah, it's been exciting to finally find my focus, but it took me 7 years of doing shows and making art to finally stumble on the right idea. So if you're an artist making stuff, keep at it and keep exploring original ideas, right? And it's not easy, but keep digging and you'll find the thing that resonates with your people.
Yeah, and also Daniel's one of the few people that is doing his own original thing. He's not doing fan art. He's got everything he does comes from his own imagination, and that's super awesome.
Yeah, so don't fall into the trap. There's people that will say you have to do fan art. That is a lie. I started with a small table doing original stuff. You can make it happen, but you've got to work hard at it. And think of it this way. If everyone on the floor is selling tacos, let's say tacos are fan art, like Groot, sell a burrito, sell Chinese food, sell ice cream cones, be different, and there'll be a draw for that.
All right, thanks, Daniel.
Yes, see you later.
All right, good luck with the rest of the show, man. All right, I am with Jeremy Berlioz of Optic House. Now, we've known each other for a while, since back in the Art and Story days, and then we got to know each other from conventions and things. And what's cool is we got to exhibit next to each other, which is awesome. So, Jeremy, tell everyone what you do, especially comics, because I'm really interested in people who are doing their own original comics.
Okay, well, I've got 2 different comics. My first book is Eye of the Gods. It's a psychological thriller about a man who's cursed with visions he can't control. Look through other people's eyes, see what they see, but he can't control when or where. He witnesses a murder in one of the visions, only to find it's being reported in the news as a death by natural causes.
Awesome. And Morningstar. What's Morningstar?
Then Morningstar. Morningstar is Lucifer's fall from heaven, but it's told as a Western. At the dawn of creation, the universe is a raw, untamed frontier. It's a Wild West. There's 7 archangels that are like the Magnificent Seven, and Lucifer is their leader. He's the marshal of heaven. Because we all know how he ends up, but this is the story of how we got there.
Doesn't end up good, no.
Yes.
So, and also you do prints, but it's all original stuff.
Yeah, yes, I do. You know what? There's so many great artists that do fantastic fan art, and I love all their work. So I figured, you know what? I've got to go find my own path. Let me go do my own thing, a little off to the side and different. You know?
All right. Thanks, Jeremy. It's been good tabling right next to you.
Great tabling next to you too, and I've changed my website recently.
Oh, so if you go to Optic House.
If you go to optichouse.com, it will forward you to my new site, Jeremy.net. It's GERIMI.net.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. So despite all the craziness that went on at Phoenix Comicon, I'm really glad I went, and hopefully next year will be even better. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I'm glad I got a chance to meet some cool people, hang out with some old friends and everything, and I'm glad I got to introduce you to some friends of mine and some new people that I met as well. That's gonna do it for my Phoenix Comicon videos, and what's gonna be next, I don't know. We'll find out. I'll see you then. That is all. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here in the Art Lab. There's a lot of other great content on the channel, so click that subscribe button and you won't miss a thing. If you're an aspiring evil genius, visit Serkworks.com for all your mad science supply needs. And if you want to contact me, hit me up in the comments section or follow me on social media. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then.